Good evening, everybody. I hope you're ready for some rambles. I'm your host, Rhiannon. Tonight we're going to be doing a hashtag that I first seen from my friend and one of my admins on Oracle Obsessed, Kristen, but her channel is called Admits the Gray, and I will actually tag her. And she is also a newer beginning YouTuber, so I'm sure she would appreciate anybody going over and checking out her channel. But the person who actually started the tag is from the channel Lark and Legend, and this was my first time seeing their channel, and I thought this was a great tag, especially because I know that a lot of us are wanting to get out of like the consumerism, and it can be a really big challenge to stop buying so many decks, and then we buy so many decks and there's just no way that we can be using them all. So I think this is a great challenge. And so what it's called is hashtag deck reconnect, decks that I own and I want to reconnect with for 2023. So let's get right into it. I am enjoying some vino tonight. I don't ever drink when I read, but I'm not reading. I'm just talking about decks. So cheers, grab yourself a glass of wine, and let's get into it. So like Kristen, she said that she'll be focusing on Thoth decks, and I had already had that as my intention as well. Not every single deck that I chose was, but many of them are. So I'm going to start with the Tarot Tabula Mundi, or Mundi, tomato. And I have the mini, and this is just a gorgeous deck. It has an amazing guidebook with it. So I will definitely be diving into this and the guidebook. And as always, if anybody here can recommend any other resources or channels that you feel like would go complementary to any of these decks or studies, I would be happy to. The colors are so vivid. I love it, and I can't even stand it. So good. When I first got these, the only thing that really stopped me when I say these is because I purchased this and my next choice, which I was just talking about in a different tag yesterday, which is the Rosetta Tarot. I got these the same time, and you know, they are pricier decks, and it's hard when you are a collector and you're in a collector mindset. You tend to like put things away and not want to ruin them. But the problem with that is I heard this analogy, I don't know how long ago. I think it was probably 10 or 15 years ago. And a lot of you might be too young to remember, but it used to be a pretty popular thing to have boomers. They would buy new furniture. So this is the Rosetta, and also a Thoth deck. But they would buy like new furniture and couches, and they would put plastic on it because they wanted to keep it nice. The problem with that is, why would you pay so much money for a really expensive fabric or leather furniture and then sit on plastic, right? Or sometimes we as women will buy like really expensive personal care items, creams, makeups, perfumes, and then we will never use them because we don't want to waste it. But it's wasting it when you don't ever use it and it goes bad. So that's like the mentality that I'm starting to come into with some of my collector's decks. Like, I can collect them and still love them and still use them, and it's wasteful to have such, you know, powerful knowledge at your fingertips and just not use it because you're afraid you're going to ruin it. So that is going to be what I'm taking into 2023. So those first two decks are the Tabula Mundi as well as the Rosetta. Both Thoth decks. Both going to be like super deep dives, like I said. In fact, I think the first 4 decks are like pretty intensive deep dives. Next, I've talked about this recently as well, but this is the Journey into Egypt Tarot by Julie Kusha Watts. And it was confirmed when I was talking about this the other day. I wasn't sure if this was Western astrology or true sidereal real sky, and it is real sky. So that's something also on my list. In fact, I did just purchase the Capricorn Prometheus software, which my friend Rochelle introduced me to. MTZ Astrology, I think, is the name of the person who created it, but it's a astrology software program that will do real sky, true sidereal, natal charts and transit charts and so on and so forth. So anyway, this has a great guidebook with it as well, and it is working with the lunar calendar and the real sky astrology. So herbalism, Thoth, real sky astrology. Those are like my main 3 goals for 2023 as far as like my journey or, you know, my spiritual path. I mean, I have some other ones. Like there's certain levels that I want to reach in the Church of Light that I'm a member of. I think I'm on level 7 or 8 right now, and I want to try to get, you can only do 1 per moon cycle. So I want to hit 1 per moon cycle every single month next year. So that would get me pretty far up. So yeah, Journey into Egypt is definitely on the list for the tarot, as well as the astrological study of it. Next is one that I've had for a while, but again, I just got into the collector's mindset. The Vitruvian edition. I also have the Revelations, but I feel like how can I dig into Revelations when I haven't even started with Vitruvian? I have the Book of Maps for both, but because these decks can sell for so much money, it's really hard to, there's my little magnet, if you know, you know. But it's really hard to get yourself like, and if you guys have any tips or tricks of what you've done to get yourself out of this mindset of like fear to like ruin something, even though like these decks were put forth and created with the intention to use them and study them and learn. So it sounds easy to get out of it, but like even right now, handling the deck gives me a little bit of anxiety when you see that you could sell it easily on a marketplace for, you know, upwards of $500 to $600 depending on the deck. So, yeah, this is one that I have just neglected. You know what I mean? And in fact, I don't even know if I should be able to say like reconnect, because I don't even know if I allowed myself to connect to them to begin with. And it's like, how many years are these going to sit on my shelves being ignored? I feel kind of emotional about it, but that's probably because I'm on my 2nd glass of wine. And you guys, this full moon this week, probably because of the Mars, conjunct Mars retrograde, but oh, I have been a mess, man. I don't know if it's the end of the year. I don't know if it's like my birthday coming up. I have been struggling. And maybe that's why I'm making more videos, because like it offers me a sense of connection. So for anybody that watches my videos and interacts, I truly appreciate you guys so much. Truly, truly. So anyways, this is definitely on the list. I didn't grab the guidebooks out because I just wanted to try to keep this video under 45 minutes, which is like ridiculous. Like so many people, like Kristen, she did hers and hers was amazing and like super thorough. And I swear it was like 13 minutes. And I'm like, how come I can't just knock these videos out? Okay, so those are all my, well, Vitruvian's not a Thoth, but I talked about another one of his decks the other day, which was the Kabbalah, the Tarot of Kabbalah, or Kabbalah Tarot by Eugene Vininsky, but this is the Tarot of Magical Correspondences. I mean, I kind of want to dig into both, but this is the one that stood out. The seller is on Etsy, and shout out to Lark and Legend, they were talking about a deck. Gosh, I can't remember the name of that one, but it was on Etsy. I think it was the last deck they talked about. And I jumped on Etsy and it was still available, but it was called a damaged, but still something. I don't know, but it was like $38. And so I snatched that up. So this is the Tarot of Magical Correspondences. And it's just a super beautiful deck. If you're wanting to try to get on a path of Kabbalah or high magic, which I am, I just think this deck is so gorgeous. So much information. You know, it gives you so many different correspondences. You just have to pay attention to the cards. So, Three of Wands, the Vision of Sorrow. And it's in Bina. And you've got your Hebrew letters there. You've got fire. Sorry, you guys. Sorry. Okay, so some driver just ran down the street like a bat out of hell, and then my dogs went crazy. Okay, so we've got the Sun in Aries. Interesting, though, how we have a pentacle on this one, even though it's the Three of Wands. This is significant. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it's like, this is like the masculine, and then like this is the feminine. It's kind of like a Shiva Lingam. I think that it's like used in India to represent the feminine and the masculine. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. The bee is significant. Like every single thing on these cards means something. It's not a coincidence. It's not just to look cute, you know. So anyway, this is one that I've had for a few years now, probably 3 or 4 years. And I say this all the time, but I remember when I first received, I can't remember if it was this one or the Kabbalah Tarot, and I did an unboxing and somebody came on and was really rude to me in my comments. I don't know who it was because they were a fucking coward. So if you're still stalking me on YouTube, like, you can get fucked because I really don't care what you think of me. But they were really rude, and I deleted that video, and I regret it because I don't normally let bullies win. But in that moment, I was weak. They were like, you're too stupid to talk about this deck. And, you know, like, it just triggered something in me, and I deleted the video. But maybe that's even part of why I put this deck away and didn't use it. Because this one, I mean, it's still available. This one's not even OOP. So, okay. And then I did choose one oracle, but I wanted to preface this and say, in general, I just want to reconnect with oracle in general in 2023, because my focus has been so tarot heavy, which is fine, but I really want to connect. And maybe it was the herbal astrology oracle that I just unboxed yesterday that's gotten me feeling some kind of way about oracle, but I'm really excited to get back into that. This one is a deck that I have. Again, this was more kind of focused for me on like collector's decks or rare decks, but this is called the Secret Dakini Oracle. This is from like the 60s. And again, I haven't really allowed myself to work with it very much because, again, I'm afraid that I'm going to ruin it. 1977, sorry, which I should have remembered because that's the year I was born. Printed in Switzerland. And it's just so 70s-licious. I can't even. So here's like the little guide that goes with it. It's really special. And it's just so unique. I've never seen anything like it. So this is definitely on the list. Like, look how beautiful it is. And I think that I heard, because I had never seen any videos from Larkin Legend, I think that I heard Kristen say that their name is Logan, but I'm not sure if maybe I heard that wrong. Oh, here's another guide card. And it just gives you a little tiny blurb, and then it just gives you relation to the tarot. Oh, I didn't realize how many there are. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 double-sided guide cards. Just because this is such an interesting deck, I'll show you the whole thing. That's giving very much Hierophant that got knocked off his throne, which that doesn't bother me at all because I can't stand Hierophant. This also reminds me of the death card that Kristen had in her VR, and she thought it was so funny. Hers had a lot more going on, but that looks like the same. Puja. That always reminds me when I took my transcendental meditation, when I took my course for that back in around 2010, 2011, you have to do a puja ceremony to get your mantra. And that's when I learned what that word puja meant. I didn't know. It's a very special and sacred ceremony. And I received my transcendental meditation mantra at that time, which I'm reading an interesting book right now about astrology called Astrology and Kundalini Rising, I think it is. But it's about like midlife crisis and specifically like your, Uranus conjunction, those type of things that start happening like in your 40s. And they were just talking about how, it was always known in the ancient worlds that it was dangerous to raise your Kundalini too early. Like you were like in India, you're not even allowed to start working on raising your Kundalini until you have been of service to the community for like so many years, because it's pretty much guaranteed that once your Kundalini starts rising, you're going to go cuckoo. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And I feel like that's why I'm so isolated, is that people just do not understand me anymore. I can't relate anymore to the 3D world, right? And there's the backs of those cards. So I know that's kind of a controversial topic, but I definitely started raising my Kundalini way before my midlife. I started way earlier. So maybe that's part of why it feels so hard, because the earlier you start, the younger you are when you start, the longer the journey is. So the hermit life sometimes seems like it's going to be amazing, but it can be a very lonely path. So anyways, I am so thankful for some fun tags like this and to challenge me to reincorporate some of these beautiful decks into my practice that just sit on my shelves and collect dust. So please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.